Yes. That's not going to come up. That's okay. So I actually thought this was going to be on Thursday. So hopefully it's not going to cause a problem. I didn't make any slides at all, but I've been told that there's a machine here that can read my inner thoughts, and so I'm hoping that something behind me is going to get projected at some point, and you can see what I'm thinking as I'm talking. My inner psyche should. Oh, there we go. There, look at the resolution on that. That's beautiful. But I really want to talk to you about fear and how you can conquer that fear through climbing. So I'm going to focus on how nervous I am. I'm going to take a minute and stop picturing you in your underwear, and hopefully I'll get nervous enough that you can see my fears sort of percolate up behind me. Let's see if that happens. Oh, look at that. There we go. And look, he thought I was presenting on Thursday too. He's mentioning umlaut. So basically, I've been taking a lot of people rock climbing, and the first thing everyone says to me is, I can't go rock climbing, I'm afraid of heights. And I respect that, but no, you're not. That's stupid. Literally everyone in this room flew here from Williamsburg. So you're comfortable getting on a plane. And the thing is, nobody knows how a plane works. Literally nobody has any idea how a plane works. It's just magic, right? On the other hand, rock climbing, I can explain to you how it works. Everything we have can literally support a ton. So what you can do, right? I mean, I've got a carabiner, I've got a rope, right? We can just find a bolt in the middle of nowhere. We can put the carabiner up there, put the rope through it, and you can climb on that. And most of the time you'll be safe. You are probably not going to die. There are people who even climb without rocks, right? Or without ropes, sorry. I mean, you can do that. I'm not going to let you because that's fucking stupid. And sooner or later you're going to kill yourself because falling does kill you. But it's not as scary as you think it is. As a general rule, we love redundancy. So what I want everyone here to go climbing outside, and what I want you to do, right, is climb around to the top. You're going to find as many sturdy things as you can, at least two, right? Maybe a tree, maybe a rock, maybe a rocky outcropping. You're going to cover the shit out of them in webbing, right? And you're going to tie yourself into the webbing in your harness. You literally don't fall off the edge, right? You're going to take an anchor making class. You're going to put 2 carabiners on the end of your anchor. You're going to thread your rope through there, through the ATC on your harness, and then you're going to punch yourself, your sense of self. Basically, you're just going to go off the edge, and it's going to be fucking terrifying. All right, and you're going to slowly lower yourself down, and you're not going to pee yourself, you're not going to do anything, you're not even going to let on, you're going to get to the bottom, and you're going to look around nonchalant, and you're going to look really cool, right? And what's awesome about that is once you start putting ropes on things, you can climb just about anything, right? So nearby here, there's the Armory. I don't know what they do. Some of the Star Wars films were filmed in there, right? But it's so eminently climbable, but you can't, right? Because what if you fall? What if you get to the top? What are you going to do, right? If there was a rope, right? If only... Right? This is why we all went to Boy Scouts and Girl Guides, right? So that we could tie ropes, right? So that we could get stuff done, right? And then once you're tying a rope, it's awesome, right? Because the fear doesn't matter anymore, right? You're gonna fall, right? It's part of the show, but every time you fall, it gets a little less frightening. But most importantly, the falling makes you a little bit better, right? Because fear is, it's not useful. It's a bit of a jerk, but it's helpful. It's an important emotion. Aww. I really wish I knew what slide was coming in next. I don't, yeah. Okay, yeah. So rock climbing, which is what makes it a lot better than lamer sports like jogging, right? They're both really difficult ways of getting stuff done, right? But the other thing is when you're jogging, you never have this moment where you're like, if I stop and I take a breather, I'm going to die. Rock climbing gives you that, and it makes you so much better at it. And unfortunately, I put inner demons on the talk, so I'm going to talk about 2 more. One is your inner demon of poor sportsmanship or poor team spirit, right? On the other end of the rope, there's another guy, and you trust him not to let you fall, and he trusts you not to let you fall. And at the end of the day, it really, unlike a lot of other team sports where you play different positions, right? You guys are doing the same thing. You're both climbing the same thing, and you're both getting back to camp, and you're lying about it, right? You're saying, no way, that was a 5'9", it was a 5'11", those guys were smoking crack, right? You two are, it's like fishing, but it's an actual sport. I don't think anyone fishes here, right? The other thing too is it really deflates your sense of pride, right? The first time you go to Yosemite, right? You're gonna have your harness on. You're gonna be looking over at those climbers. You're gonna be like, look at those namby-pamby sissies. They're just walking their way up the hill, right? I'm gonna do it the hard way. I'm gonna climb up. It's gonna be really exhausting. I'm gonna eat some power bars. I'm gonna have all sorts of expensive stuff from REI. And then you get back to Camp 4, and you see these bright colored dots on these big Lord of the Rings shit walls, and you're like, holy shit, somebody's climbing that. And then your ego just goes down to a manageable level. But the point is, so those things are permanent gains. But the thing about the fear, right, is it sort of recedes to a background level. I mean, there's always something harder. So there's always a more dangerous way you could tie your rope, right? You could bring it up with you. You can actually put your own protection. But so the fear kind of goes back to like a background radiation, and you get better. And every time you get to the top, every time you beat fear, it's basically like you kicked him in the face, and you need to do that because fear is a bit of a dick.